The fifth report that you should be running is maybe less of a report and more of a functionality, but it's cohorts. And that is what we want to do here is we want to group our users based on some kind of attributes, whether it's events they took or maybe user attributes or user properties that we can find. So let's look a little bit at how we can build cohorts here in Amplitude. So let's say we want to get users who've been active in the last 30 days and who also maybe play a song, let's say. Actually, let's say this favor song. That's even more specific. So now we're saying they were active in the last 30 days and they favor a song at least once or more in the last 30 days, right? So now we can start to group users based on their attributes. So you might want to start to define things, common cohorts that products can use, so things like new users, active users, inactive users, which is the inverse of active users. Some companies also start performing power users, and eventually you can even segment things or segment your users into even more specific buckets. Here are users who really care about rock, or here are users who really care about pop, or here are users who love to discover new music, and they love to find indie artists and so on, right? These are all cohorts and groups of users, and typically if you have your data structured in the right way, or you're collecting enough data, you'll have what you need to be able to create this criteria, whatever that criteria may be, right? In this case, we'll give it active users plus favorite song more than once, right? In any case, in any tool, when you build cohorts or audiences or groups, we'll have the criteria, and then we'll get how many users are in this cohort. Of course, this all updates, right? Since we're using the last 30 days, this is a rolling cohort, so every time the time changes, day changes, this cohort will get updated. Amplitude in this case actually gives us some interesting comparisons about things about this cohort. But from here, we can take this and go and analyze anything, right? All the things we have seen before, things like funnels, things like segmentation, things like retention. Now we can start to look at this cohort versus another cohort, or this cohort versus all users, which would be more on average. The point is, once you have these groups, you can start to use them in your analysis. You can also, of course, export them, maybe create like a CSV and then go take this to an email tool, maybe go run specific ad campaigns at these users and so on. But the main thing that needs to happen first is you need to group them. You need to find the criteria that you want to group users by. And then once you do, you have a lot of different possibilities of what you can do with it.